Hi, I'm Cristy and welcome with Create with Cristy. So today we're going to be making the popsicle sign that says Hello Sunshine on it. And I will first start telling you what we're going to need. So I'm going to use some yellow acrylic paint just because I'm going to choose to use a sun for mine. If you guys want to make a rainbow, clouds, whatever you want, just choose the paint. But I'm going to be using yellow and white acrylic paint. And then of course some paint brushes, and I have some Q-tips here just because I'm going to probably use it for the sun so I can have a little bit more control of where my paint goes. Some basic scissors that I have just because I'm going to be make mine into a sign. So I have this medium twine here. It seems like I'm obsessed with. I've been using it a lot. Why not? We have a heck of a lot of it. But this is the medium. If you have regular, that's fine as well. Or even some jute. A glue gun, hot glue gun, glue sticks, a Sharpie so I can write some words on it. I'll probably write the word hello on it instead of painting it. And then I'm choosing to put sunshine on mine. Now I did cut mine out of the Cricut. These are rather small. I don't know if you're good at cutting this out, I'm impressed. But if you don't have a Cricut or words that are cut out, you can actually find letters at the dollar store. They have some that you can just peel off. They're sticky, you can put it on, which actually is kind of ideal now that I think about it because you don't have to worry about Mod Podging or gluing the letters on. So actually that's probably a pretty cool way to go. I have a regular glue stick because again, I have to glue mine on because I just now thought about the dollar store letters. Hey, something live and learn. And then again, the popsicle sticks. I have the large jumbo sticks, which is fine. I have, let's see, 2, 4, 6. I have 9 going across. If you have the smaller ones, you might need more. Again, this is yours, like I always say, create it and make it your own. But this is what we have, so this is what I'm using. Lay them out, decide how large you want your sign, depending on your stencil, your letters that you're gonna get. Just kind of lay out your base of what yours is going to need. Mine should be hopefully okay with what I have with my letters. Put it down on a flat surface and then take your other stick and kind of like guide it to make sure all of your sticks are in place. Personal preference, if you want to paint the sticks first, I'm not going to because I don't really think the sides in between each slat or each stick side needs to be painted beforehand. I think the paint's going to be able to be okay. So once you have your sticks all laid out and they're pretty even, I'm just going to use the glue gun. Make a strip of glue. I'm going to put mine right in the center. And this is going to hold your sticks together. Kind of press it down. And once it's down, give it a couple seconds to dry. And I think I'm going to need some more glue because this guy moved on me. My advice to you on this one is make sure that when you put your hot glue on your glue stick, you're putting enough on and not just dabbing it. You're making an actual full line going across your popsicle stick. So that way when you turn it over, it's not falling apart. If you notice, some of my pieces were coming apart. So I actually added a second popsicle stick and put the glue all the way across it. So now that they're actually all together, lay it down, and then you're gonna take your paintbrush. And this is the part where it's personal preference about what you want to do. So kind of think in your head. I'm kind of envisioning the white background. If you guys want to make it a nighttime sky, black, blue, orange, I mean, it doesn't really matter. So think about what you want it to look like on your actual surface. And then just take the paint and paint it white, or again, whatever color you want. Get some good coverage. If you have a foam brush, I didn't get a foam brush out. The foam brush would actually make this speed up a little bit quicker and probably less brush strokes in it, which I'm not a big fan when you have a bunch of marks into your paint. So just go ahead and get the tops, the sides, paint the entire surface of whatever color you want the background. This is the background color. Once you get your top coat on, mine's actually, I thought I was going to make it a lot bolder of a background, but when I did the one coat, it's actually kind of like a chalkboard effect to it, and I think I kind of like this, so I'm only going to do one coat. And again, I'm using white, so it's all going to have to be You guys are going to have to make your best choice for yourself with what you want to do. 1 coat or 2 coat, but I have 1 coat of white. Mine's not quite dry yet, but moving forward for video's sake, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next step. You guys want to make sure yours is really nice and dry. So depending on what letters you have, what you purchased, what you're painting on, what you're writing on, next with my sign, I'm going to do a sun like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of regular masking tape. If you have painter's tape, that's going to work as well. But make sure your paint's dry, because once you pull this off, you don't want to pull off your paint. And this is going to just serve as a nice, clean, hopefully straight. Just because you have tape doesn't mean that line's going to be straight. And I'm going to put it down so that way I can then create the sun. Hopefully you guys can see that. So I just took the tape and I'm going to hold this down in place, and then now I'm going to go ahead for mine. I'm going to make a sun. So for mine, I'm going to make yellow, and actually I think I'm going to make a lighter yellow than what I actually have. I have just a regular plain yellow, and I think this might be a little bit too bold now that I have my back not as dark as I thought. So I'm going to mix a little bit of white. Show you guys, sorry, I'm going to keep forgetting this sometimes. I'm taping for you and you're not right here with me. So just going to mix a little bit of white in there to get the color of yellow. It's funny how everything kind of takes us back to those elementary years of learning art. So we got a little bit of white. And again, this is where you're going to decide if you want clouds, make your clouds. If you want your rainbow, which is kind of cool as well, you can make a rainbow. I'm just going to make an arch to make a sun. And I want it to have rays on it, so just kind of do an outline line. And I'm going to try to hold this. Well, I got it taped to the table now, so I'm not going to be able to hold it up. And since it kind of has like a washboard, yeah, you guys can see. And I'm choosing to go down instead of across, just so I can make sure down with my strokes right now, because I want to make sure the paint is getting in between the slats of wood. Because if you guys notice when I first did it, and I'm going to go actually to the tape, so when I pull it off, I'm going to get a crisp. And now I'm taking my stroke to even it out, the paint, and go down again. And yeah, you guys can see that. And then once you actually have it on there, then you're just going to take and paint it in. And I really think now that I'm using a paintbrush, if you have a foam brush, you might get more of less strokes again. And I guess depending on what you do, if you're going to do like a rainbow, you probably have to use a brush because of all the colors you're going to need. And I kind of like this because, again, it's all up to you what you choose to make. Everything, again, mine, you can't do step by step pretty much on this with me today. If you guys are going to change it up, which I love, you're welcome to send me your completed sign to cduckworth, cduckworth @groveport.org. I love to see what you guys come up with. And actually, it inspires me a lot of times, and I'm thinking, darn, I wish I would have had that before I did mine. So you can see my sun on there. Let me move this back so you can see it a little bit, hopefully not knock it over. And then that's when I said at the very beginning, I have Q-tips, just because I think it'll give me a little bit more control from when I do the actual rays of the sun. And I'm just gonna kind of do old school lines. And I want my rays to be a little bit bolder so you can see them. And I really feel that all ages can do this again, all abilities. You don't have to be an artist, professional artist, to have fun doing crafts and painting. And a lot of times it's not always the completion of it, it's the fun of actually doing it. And if you can tell, I'm blending mine because I chose to do the rays a little bit of a darker yellow, and that was by choice. So I don't want it to look like it's coming off, not blending as well with the next. So I'm just going to keep blending. You will have to let this dry before you pull off the tape. Once that's dry, we're going to pull off the tape and then we're going to go ahead and attach the letters. Now again, I really wish I would have thought about this, but if mine's not pre-stuck, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue, and I'm just going to use regular glue on it for right now so I can get the positioning. And we're going to lay this down. Again, it's kind of hard for me to tell how much to put it because I'm not sure what kind of letters and sign that you guys have. But you can see I'm going to go ahead and go across it with my words with just regular glue. And then once I have it set, we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so hopefully you guys have whatever you have chosen for your background completed and your image on there, and clouds, rainbow, etc., what we've talked about. The tape is still on mine because mine's not completely dry yet. Next, I'm going to go ahead, just because we need to move forward, putting the words down. The tape, I think, is actually going to be a pretty good idea to leave down, just because it can be a guideline as to where to put your letters up against, so that way they're straight across. Again, gosh darn it, I wish I would have had the pre-stuck letters, but I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and take the glue stick, rub on the back of each letter, and place it down. After you do that, depending on where you're going to put the sign, you might have to put a little bit of Mod Podge over top of it. I would recommend the matte Mod Podge because you don't want this part to be really shiny and the rest of your sign not to be. You might be able to see that. So maybe get the matte, cover it up really quick so they won't peel off. If you're going to use this outside, you're going to need to spray it with some clear spray. If not, you can just put it inside, maybe by a window, up along a wall. But let's go ahead and get the letters placed down, and then after that we'll peel it off and attach the string for the back. So let's go ahead and peel the tape if you guys have chosen to put the tape on there. And this is rather sticky. Okay, so as you can tell, you can see the sunshine words and the suns matching down to it. And now I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Sharpie and put the hello on there. I'm just going to make sure that it is completely dry. Mine's still a little tacky, so I'm going to have to wait here a couple minutes. Well, I'm going to wait the string, the twine. This will be the last step that you do because if you attach it now, it's going to be a little bit of an uneven surface. So let me go ahead. Yeah, that's still wet. Obviously, if the paint's not dry, your Sharpie's not going to work. So give me a minute. Let's let this dry. So here's the words for the Hello Summer. And the very last final step is to attach it if you want to hang it. And again, this is actually very optional. If you want to put it on the front, here I'll show you in a minute. If you would rather put it on the front and maybe attach buttons, I'm going to put mine on the back just because I don't have any yellow buttons here. And if you want to use the end of it, a pencil or the glue gun, so you don't burn your fingers. And the glue gun, actually, with the hot glue, sets pretty quick. So this is the Hello Summer sign. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you, again, didn't want the sun or whatever wording you wanted, it's so fun because you can be creative and make it your own. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.